Let's work a little bit on dealing with the frames of our opponents. Okay, so as you guys know, last Monday we had the Lucas Lepre seminar, and he showed like amazing things, right? So I would kind of like not reveal, but the things that I saw, you know, that we do actually, but I would say like that. I want to make sure you are more cautious about that. Okay, so when you're passing the guard, there'll be the first line of frame, which is like the foot of your opponent. Okay, your opponent will try to put their feet right to block you, either in your bicep, right here, on your hips. They use like the hook, right? They use it as a hook, or they're gonna put de la riva. So that's a frame here. Okay, so the foot and the shin are frames that are really important for your opponent. Okay, so you're always gonna try to maintain you on top of that. That's why de la riva hook is good. That's why sometimes you go for the headquarters, they keep the shin right here, okay? Because once you defeat the shin and you squat right here, there's no frame of the lower body. So right now I have to deal with this, okay, with the upper body frames, okay? So you're either gonna be dealing first you're gonna be dealing with the lower body frames, and after you beat the lower body frames, now you're gonna deal with the hands, right? First he's gonna push with the hand. Okay, and secondly, he's going to use his frame, okay, which is a forearm, right? Exactly. So you see that the forearms and the legs, forearms and hand and shin and foot and feet will have the same role to block you and not letting you pass the guard. At the end of the day, what I want is to be between the thigh and the upper side of their arm, okay? So if I'm here, look, I underhook this arm, I put my head right below and behind his tricep. So that means there's no frame on me. That's why I have access to mount, right, without a problem. That's why I have access to force my opponent to give you the back, right? So you have to understand that. But once you start defeating the frames of your opponent, he's gonna always try to work with some hip scape or elevating the hip to make sure that they recover the guard. Sometimes like I defeat, let's say if I go with the crazy dog pass, where I grab the bottom leg, right here, he's gonna try to elevate his hips and then try to roll. So that means like now I'm between his legs, right? Or if it doesn't roll like that, let's say I go to the side, he's gonna escape her hips, and then recover the guard using the bottom leg, and now I'm between his legs again, okay? So you just have to understand how to use your frames against his frame, okay? So there was a part during the seminar that actually my professor, Fernando Terere, used to use this knee slide a lot, a shin slide, I would say, okay, to pass the guard. A lot of times you want to pass the guard this way, okay? You're gonna use your shin like forward, right, to get on side of your opponent, okay? But a lot of times your opponent traps your leg or even pinch the knees here. And sometimes I try to go, it doesn't work, okay? So I have to slide towards the side of the shin. So if he's locking here, okay, I have to slide here, like towards the shin, okay? And when I escape from the leg, right, when my foot is out, it's actually easier for me to get a nice leg drag. You see, now I don't have to deal with the frame anymore, okay? Once I force my opponent to face away from me, the only escape and the only frame he can build is the outside frame, because I already defeat the inside frame. He's gonna try to bring this leg over like this to push me away, right? And now he has the other frame too, okay? So I have to make sure that every time I pass the guard, I don't allow my opponent to build those frames, okay? A lot of times when I give the leg to my opponent, either he's grabbing like the pants right here, okay? He can start like hold me down, okay? Sometimes you go with a step over, but you don't know what to do after that, right? Sometimes you're gonna try to push the leg down, or to do the split pass, as we did in the seminar, right? Dropping the knee on the floor and try to be between the legs, which is great, right? And then start passing his guard, all because I have this frame here. At the end of the day, it's my frame against his frame, okay? So his frames are here. I have to positioning myself right now to defeat that, okay? There's two ways for me to do that. I can go step over, and go to the side as a side smash. So right now you see that his frame is not working anymore. Okay, right now I'm no longer on top of his frames, I'm on top of his thighs. Okay, and now I can start smashing past his guard, so that way he doesn't play much guard. This is the folding pass. Or I step over and then I go as a knee cut. I go this way, control the bottom leg, cut to the bottom, and then pass the guard this way as a leg drag. Or I use the staple on top, shin slide, overhead slide, and windshield wiper passing the guard. Okay. Also, one thing I can do here, if I push his leg down, open his leg, and then I open shin to shin, I can put my knee on the floor, and now I build station on his hand, and then I can start breaking the grip, and I start positioning myself ready to start passing as a knee cut. So if I go here more on top of his thigh, Andy can grab my collar and move a little bit to the outside and put on the X guard, and you go a little bit upside down. Exactly, you put him, so he goes upside down, look. And now he start building the guard again, okay? So when we do this shin staple here, okay, I have to go with my leg behind and more close to the ankle, and then I go here, okay, so to break the grip. Again, if I go more over the thigh like this, he's gonna try to invert, start inverting like this, exactly, and then he's gonna push me like this, and then he's gonna put the X guard, okay? So make sure that when you're doing these drills, you are sharp on your knee cuts, especially shin to shin, okay? So first thing we're gonna do here, we're gonna step over the leg, control the collar, use my forearm outside, and you see that my knee is on this side. I'm gonna bring my knee this way. Okay, so actually my foot. Turn around. Notice that my foot is on this side, my right foot. I'm gonna bring my arm outside and I go like this to this side. Okay, I change. So now I'm ready to start passing his guard. Okay. So take advantage of my grip on the knee. Okay. Use my forearm over his leg. Get the knee, the shin slide, smash, and staple. As I staple, I leg drag, then I pass the guard. Okay, that's the first one we're gonna do. Okay. Second one, I'm here. Okay. I step over, control the collar, change the side. Okay, but now look, I'm here with my opponent, and I feel that he's opening the knee really well. Okay. He's blocking me a little bit, so I'm gonna control his hand, push his hand down, and now I'm gonna hug his head and get a long step. Okay, and I pass the guard as a long step. Okay, sometimes on the long step, when you go here, okay, he's gonna lock the leg, and then he's gonna lock just your shin. Just make sure that you escape your hip, and then use the knee cut right here. So now you're in a good positioning to start passing his guard. Okay. Again, step one, step, control, move to the side, shin slide, staple, leg drag, windshield wiper, and underhook. I don't like to go here. I like to underhook, and then I get on the side. Okay. Again, we gotta do this for a minute. Okay. Step one, step over, move to the side, leg drags, leg slide, sorry, slide here. Okay, staple, and then leg drag. Okay. Second step. Okay, I'm here. Step over, turn to the side, get the long step. He's gonna close the half guard. Point to the knee cut. Okay, and then I pass his guard. So you're gonna use these two ways of pass right now, over and over. Okay. Just over and over. Okay, just keep doing this too. So slide, step over, windshield wiper, slide, long step, knee cut. Just keep doing that over and over. One time each, but I would say one time each technique until I say time, and then the other person, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3.